When you are logged in to the UniBLU app as the owner, you are the primary administrator. You have access to all the functionality. You can run tests, create projects, create access keys for other users. So let's look at the additional user types briefly, and then we'll go over how to set these up. So I'm going to start on the far right, the viewer. This is the lowest level of access. You can grant access in the UniBLU app to somebody by their email address and an access key that allows them to view test results, review data. They cannot do anything with testing. It's simply to allow them to view. This might be applicable for an end customer, for instance, that wants to monitor testing, or a specifier that wants to monitor the testing. The next level up is the operator. This is your field technician. This is the person typically in the field doing the testing. Then above them is the manager. So the manager can actually create access keys for the people below them, the operator or the viewer, in addition to being able to perform all the other functionalities that the operator or the viewer would be able to do. Then the owner can get into everything. Again, the primary administrator creating an access key for a manager. A manager, for instance, cannot create an access key to allow another manager type functionality. That has to be granted by the owner. So the only person in this whole hierarchy that has the cloud login information is the owner, the primary administrator. Next, we're going to create a manager account. So I am logged in as the owner. I'm going to scroll down in the app to users and cloud management. Once in users and cloud management, I'm going to click the plus symbol here to add. And we see the pop-up. We need to enter the manager's name and email address. If you're using a Gmail Google Drive for your cloud storage, their email can be anything. If you are using Microsoft OneDrive, it's important to understand that this manager that you're setting up must have an Outlook email address. Otherwise, it will not work. So you have to have an Outlook email address if you're using OneDrive. I'm using my Google Drive, so I'm going to grant access. Now, I'm going to just use my work email information. So I put my name here is Steve C. AEM, and I put my email address. This is who I'm setting up as the manager. If I'm just going to set this person as a user or a viewer, I won't check the assign user as a manager. But I am doing this as a manager, so I'm going to check assign as manager. So the process for this is the same whether we're setting up a manager or a user or a viewer. It's just that if you're setting up a user or an operator or a viewer only, you'll just not check that assign this user as manager. So I'm going to check the box here because I want this person to be a manager. And I'm going to click OK. So now I see that this manager is set up. So now what I want to do is send an access key. So I'm going to select this person right here. And then down at the bottom, we're going to share access key. Now we can select the amount of time that we want the access key to be valid. I'm going to just put 12 months. And then I will click OK. It's asking me for how I want to share the access key. I'm going to use mail. Now we could send this as a text message if we wanted, but I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to send it as an email. Now this is assuming that this manager will be receiving their emails on their phone because they need to get this file to their phone or their tablet. So whatever method works best for that, you could use a text message if that's the easiest way for them to retrieve it. Now once we've done this, we need to go into the email. I would go into the email on my phone and I would save that. If I'm that manager with that email address, I'd go in and I'd get that key and I would save it to the files on my phone. Once you've saved the file onto your phone, then that manager would be able to log in and access the projects that are created or anything else that's pushed from the owner.